Hello and welcome to Vocabulary Lesson 17. Look, I have a map of the United States of America in the background. Do you see Michigan? Do you see it? What letter is touching Michigan? Can you tell? I hope you know which one's Michigan. Okay, moving on. The first thing we are going to do is get our sticky note ready. You need to get a sticky note out, put your name at the top, and number it 1 to 10. Now that is a lot of numbers, so you're going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the front and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on the back. Don't worry, you're only going to write one word for each number, so don't feel overwhelmed. Alright, once you have your sticky note ready, restart the video. Press pause now and restart when you have numbers 1 through 10 on your sticky note ready to go. We are going to continue learning vocabulary words from The Spooky Tale of Pruitt Peacock. Here we are on page 6 and 7, and in this part of the story, Pruitt and the other peacocks flutter to the top of the tree to get away from Travis the tiger. Now let me read this page to you. Once the peacocks had recovered from their fright, the first thing they did was check their tails for fear they may have lost a feather. Losing a tail feather was always heartbreaking for a peacock. The word we are focusing in on is heartbreaking. Heartbreaking means sad, with an important difference. If something is heartbreaking, it is not just a little sad, it is very sad or upsetting. Let me show you what that would look like in emoji land. Here's a sad emoji. A little bit upset, but heartbreaking emoji would look like this. Very upset and very sad. Do you see the difference? Sad, heartbreaking. So losing a tail feather is heartbreaking for the peacocks. Why do you think that may be? Well, the storybook peacocks are proud of their beautiful tails, and losing a tail feather is heartbreaking or very sad or upsetting because they're so proud of the way they look. Have you ever heard that statement, proud as a peacock? I think they're proud because their feathers are so beautiful, but if they lost one, it wouldn't look as nice. Okay, now we're going to do number 1 on your sticky note. What is something that would be heartbreaking for you to lose? Not something that would just be a little bit sad, but very upsetting and very sad. Next to number 1, write the name of something that would be heartbreaking for you to lose. You just need to write one word of something that would be heartbreaking to lose. Write that next to number 1. Pause the video and restart when you've written that down. Okay, we're moving on to pages 10 and 11, and in this part of the story, the other peacocks notice Pruitt's tail for the first time. Let me read it to you. The other peacocks paid so little attention to Pruitt that a week had passed before they discovered his tail had gone wild. When they did, it hit them all at once. They let go with such terrified shrieks they could be heard all the way to Mandalay. It took 10 minutes for Phineas to settle them down. Then, in a fury, he turned to Pruitt. "What's come over you, Pruitt? What on earth have you done to your tail?" he squawked. The word we're focusing in on is fury. Fury and anger are synonyms. That means they mean the same thing. Synonyms means 2 words that mean the same thing, or even more than 2. So fury and anger are synonyms. Fury means anger. Why do you think Phineas is in a fury or feeling great anger? Here's what I think. I think Phineas thinks Pruitt has changed his tail to make it spooky, and this makes Phineas very angry. Okay, now we're going to talk about an imaginary girl named Olive and decide if she is in a fury or not. Is she feeling very angry? Here's the first scenario. It's Olive's birthday. She unwraps a present and discovers that it is a computer. She throws her hands up and shouts, "A computer! I didn't expect this!" Is Olive in a fury? Yes or no? On your sticky note next to number 2, you're going to write yes or no. Write yes if you think in this situation Olive is in a fury. Write no if you think in this situation Olive is not in a fury. Remember, she said, "A computer! I didn't expect this." Okay, pause the video if you need to and write yes or no. Then turn it back on and we'll go to another situation with Olive. Okay, in this next scenario, Olive is at the library. When she asks the librarian for a book she wants, he says, "Sorry, every copy is checked out." Olive stomps her foot and shouts, "This isn't fair! I must have that book!" What about in that situation? Is Olive in a fury? Yes or no? Go to number 3 on your sticky note. Write yes if you think Olive is in a fury. Write no if you think Olive is not in a fury. Pause the video and then turn it back on once you've written yes or no for number 3. Okay, we're moving on to another situation with Olive. Olive is at the zoo with her friend Orlando. Orlando wants to visit the monkey house, but Olive wants to see the snake exhibit. "I've got an idea," shouts Olive. "Let's do both." What do you think? Is Olive in a fury in this situation? Yes or no? Next to number 4 on your sticky note, write yes if you think Olive is in a fury. Write no if you think she's not in a fury. Pause the video and then come back when you're done. Yes or no, is she in a fury about the zoo? Okay, now we're moving on to page 24 and 25. And in this part of the story, the peacocks are chasing Pruitt and suddenly encounter old Travis. Let me read it to you. A tiger reared up out of the grass. It was old Travis, and just like that, the chase was over. It was too late to turn back, and with no trees to flutter into, the peacocks were doomed. They were too terrified to move, so they just stood there waiting for the finish. Then, just as the tiger was all set to spring, he let out a yowl of terror. Then, in a panic, old Travis went leaping and bounding away to disappear in the distance. The peacocks were left stunned and bewildered. What could ever frighten a tiger? They wondered as they looked frantically about. Then, all at once, there it was, Pruitt's spooky tail. When Pruitt caught sight of the tiger, the tail sprang straight up in all its horror. There was no doubt but what Pruitt's tail had saved the day. The next word we're focusing in on is bewildered. And bewildered means confused or puzzled. Bewildered, confused, and puzzled are all synonyms. They mean just about the same thing. When you are bewildered, you aren't sure what to do or think. In this part of the story, the peacocks are bewildered or confused and puzzled because they do not understand why Travis ran away. But once they figure out that Pruitt's tail scared the tiger, they are not bewildered anymore. They are no longer confused. They understand why Travis ran away. Okay, we're going to talk more about Olive and the word bewildered, which means confused or puzzled. Here's the next situation. Olive's friend Orlando is mad at her. Olive isn't sure why. Is Olive bewildered? That's the question for number 5. You're going to either write yes if you think Olive is bewildered, or no if you think Olive is not bewildered. So next to number 5, write yes or no. Pause the video to write yes or no, and then continue. We're going to talk more about bewildered and Olive. Here's number 6. Olive finds out that Orlando is angry with her because she didn't go to Orlando's birthday party. What about now? Is Olive bewildered now? Write yes or no next to number 6. Okay, we're going to do one more situation with Olive. Olive is working on a jigsaw puzzle. She can't figure out where the pieces go. Now is Olive bewildered? This will be number 7 on your sticky note. With the puzzle, is Olive bewildered? Please write yes or no next to number 7. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit more about the words sad and heartbreaking. Remember, they are similar, but not quite exactly the same. Remember, here's sad, and here's heartbreaking. Heartbreaking means you are extremely sad, very upset. Now, in these situations, you have to decide if you would feel sad or if the situation would be heartbreaking for you. Here's the first situation. Your parents decide to move your family to a city far away. Would it be a little sad or would it be heartbreaking if your parents decided to move your family far away? You need to decide. Okay, so next to number 8 on your sticky note, you're going to either write the word heartbreaking or the word sad. How would it feel for you if your family was moving to a city far away? Pause the video and write heartbreaking or sad next to number 8. Okay, here's number 9. You get into an argument with your best friend. Would it be heartbreaking or sad for you if you got into an argument with your best friend? Write the word heartbreaking or sad next to number 9. How would you feel? Okay, moving on to number 10. You're at the movie theater and you drop your popcorn. Would that be heartbreaking or sad? Write either heartbreaking or sad next to number 10. Okay, now you should have your name on your sticky note and you should have one word next to every single number 1 through 10. Please put your sticky note on the sticky spot and don't forget to have your name on it. Thanks for learning with me today. Bye.